What is going on, y'all? All right, comments. See who's here. Nobody is here yet. There we go. There's the link. So we'll see who pops in, and we'll see who doesn't pop in. I think people are just kind of getting used to me being late. There's Drew. What's going on, Drew? Good to see you, Drew. Red Rock Scott. What's going on, Mr. Scott? Good to see you here. Excellent. Excellent. Hey, guys, I put a link. Let me know if you can't see it, but I put a link in the comment in case you wanted to join live. But tonight we're going to have Rob from Waymaker, and he's actually in the queue right now, and we'll bring him on in just a few minutes. I just got home. I was in kind of a rush because Sunday nights. What's going on, Gary? Mr. Gary Garrison. It's good to see you. As I always have, I got my Coke Zero. I wish I could get some flavored ones, like some vanilla or orange, something like that. But apparently that stuff is hard to find around here. Payway, if you guys ever heard of that restaurant, Payway, it's a Asian diner is what they call themselves. They're closing down around here, but there's still a few open, and I think they're going to stay on. Dustin, what's going on? Coke Zero, it is amazing. And this Payway, they used to have those soda vending machines where it was like digital or like touchscreen, and you could hit like, okay, I want Coke products, and then it'd pop up like all the variations of Coke, right? All the different flavors and all that type of stuff. But they went away from it, and I think that machine must have been expensive because since COVID, I'm guessing since COVID, they're cutting costs because they started closing down some restaurants around here. But yeah, I was in a rush because tonight is family dinner night, and I was over at my sister's house, and I had to kind of rush the kids out of the house, and we had to get on the road and back home because I kind of lost track of time. So I'm a bit rushed, but I think I made it, which is funny because I'm usually late, and I thought you guys were getting kind of used to that. But so I got my Coke Zero, and Rob's in the queue, and we're going to get this thing going in just a couple minutes. Usually about 5 after 9, I kind of start talking, so we got a couple minutes. So I guess while I got you guys coming in, hey, if there's anything, any questions that you guys are going to have for Mr. Rob when he comes on, feel free to go ahead and post them. Or if you want to use the link, you can ask him face to face, then we'll just add you into the stream and you can give him an ask. But this is going to be fun because a lot of folks have been asking for this, for Rob to come on with me and interact with me. And he came on last week, and it seemed to do pretty well because he upgraded his internet. And but his phone seemed to do a little bit better than his computer. So I'm guessing he's probably going to be on his phone. But yeah, so feel free also tell me what's going on with you guys, and because I want to see how you guys are doing too. Here, the lawn care season is pretty much over. I'm in the middle of my spraying. A and B, welcome. It's good to see you. Faithful guy right there. He's here every single week. Mr. Ben, beautiful face. At least what I can see of it. Yeah, I've got what would you say? Is that about 20% covered up right now? I've got a nice light on it to where you guys can really see it growing out. You think I was from Minnesota, the way this thing's growing. Yeah, but I just trimmed it today. Just kind of like right here, right through there. Joffrey, what's going on, man? Another faithful man there. Another faithful man. Dustin Bowers from Louisville, Trinity Lawn Care, leaf cleanups at this point here. Yeah, leaf cleanups. We could still do them around here. So I guess that part of lawn care could still be going. But a lot of people are doing trees right now, but trees are not my gig at all. But I'm thinking about it because I know there's a lot of money in that, and the tree guys are really backed up and staying busy. But it's starting to get cold, so it's not real pleasant to work out in the cold. I know Scott knows about that up there in our northern neighbor of Canada. Oh, but guys, I'm doing pretty good though. Doing pretty good. trying to get my spraying done, but it's been windy, so I got to be careful when I'm out there. So only about half the days I can go out and spray, but I'm getting that going. I've been kind of working on my offit and trying to figure out some better storage solutions. So I bought a filing cabinet, and I meant to put that in here before we got on, but as I told you guys, I'm kind of running behind as always. William from Precision, good to see you, bud. Not a little beard, no, long hair little guy, but not a little beard. I'm telling you guys, I jumped a little bit in subscriber count, which was kind of nice to see because I haven't really been gaining a lot, but it's going to take me probably a little while to get to 1,000. But I'm assuming the longer this thing gets, I don't know if I'll be more encouraged or discouraged to press on with the 1,000, but we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. Ben says I look like a leprechaun, and he loves him some leprechauns. Yeah. There's a guy at work, and he's got a big old beard. He's been growing it forever, and he's got like fire red hair everywhere. They call him Redbeard. And we play cornhole. You guys know that game, cornhole, with the bags of corn and the board, and there's a 6-inch hole, and you got to get in the hole, cornhole. We've been playing that at work. We're lucky. That's why it's hard to give up my jobs, because I get to play cornhole. And we're Team Redbeard when we're playing together. So, guys, it's about 7 after 9. So I'm going to bring Rob in, and he's going to tell you a little story about how he got started in lawn care, and maybe a couple other things. So, Rob, you ready, man? Give me a thumbs up. I know he's ready. There he is.
Hey, Matt.
Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. So we're in good shape. We are in good shape.
Well, did you have a good dinner?
I did. We had a tuna casserole, which is a family favorite. I grew up on tuna casserole. Oh man, it's good.
I love that stuff.
Yeah. Now, do you like it with the topping? Do you put a topping on it?
We put cream and mushroom in ours.
Cream and
tuna. Mm-hmm. That's about it.
Yeah.
And noodles, of course.
Chips on top?
No.
Oh.
I'll have to try that.
Yes. Potato chips.
Potato chips on top.
Yeah. You just put a little hole in the bag, and you just crush them up in the bag. And you open the bag. Yep. And you can either cook them on top, like for the last 5 minutes or something like that, to get them kind of crispy, more crispy than they are.
What kind of potato chips?
Just regular Lay's. Just the
Really?
Original Lay's is what we do. Yeah.
I'll have to try it.
Yeah. Gives a great texture.
Something new.
Some people put different things on it. They could put like a breadcrumb or something like that, but we like potato chips in my family. Yep. So what'd you have for dinner?
We had pizza. That used to be y'all's dinner, wasn't it? Pizza?
It was. Sunday nights we get off church, and then it was an easy dinner for us because we just dropped by the pizza place. But we don't go to church on Sunday anymore. So
right.
We're Saturday people now. So yeah, our routine on pizzas got kind of switched up a bit. But now we have family dinners, either at my house, my sister's house, or my mom's house. We'll rotate. And this time it's over at my sister's house. So, yeah. Oh, I lost Rob. Uh-oh. Chips take it to a whole new level, don't they, Ben? And I think Lay's do work the best. That's what our family's always stuck with. And you could also use like Cheez-It. Have you ever used Cheez-Its? Here he goes. Rob's coming back on.
How do I push for? How can I see the?
There we go. We got you back.
All right. Sorry, I hit the wrong button.
I was hoping that wasn't your internet connection that dropped or something.
I did that. Yeah, I'm trying to find out where I can see the comments.
Yeah.
You hit chat, or did you hit leave?
I hit chat.
Yeah. We got
We'll try it again, Matt. Hang on just a second.
Sure. Yeah. Mr. Mickey, man, it's good to have you from Jonesburg, Tennessee.
I can't do it.
Tennessee, what a beautiful state that is. Uh-oh. We lost him again, but we'll get him back again. So I hope you guys have had a good week. Bringing it back on.
Okay, Matt, I'm not going to be able to read the comments. So,
Okay, no problem.
But yeah, I'll answer what I can if you'll read them for me or whatever.
No problem. Yep. So guys, if you have any questions for Rob, just put them in the comments or use the link at the top. And if you don't see the link, I'll just repost it again because I know StreamYard has been having some issues. Ben, you had some trouble on your live the other day with the with that link. And I know if I repost it, then you guys will probably use it because that's what Rob used. Yep. So Mickey says he's glad to be in here, that we can learn from us guys and gals. So I hope we do have something. But tonight, Rob's going to tell us a little story about how he got involved in lawn care. And I've heard it a couple of times. You know, as you guys know, or a lot of you guys know, me and Rob, we do some collaboration work together. And we usually see each other every couple of weeks while we're mowing. And but our mowing's over now, so we don't see each other that often. So it's extra awesome to have him on the show tonight.
Well, it's a pleasure to get to work with you at least every other week. It's y'all guys, Matt's a pleasure to work with. I have a lot of fun. We do a lot of talking when we do the commercial property.
I know we do about an hour and a half of cutting and about 2 hours of talking.
Yeah. So, but it's worth the time. Good times. So.
Yeah, Drew says we all know Rob. I know. Rob's a regular in the for the Sunday live. So if anybody's has been hanging out with us on live, then they know Rob for sure. But Ben does have a question for you. He wants to know how many cleanups you did in the past month, Rob.
Well, I did 2 last week, Tuesday and Wednesday. Monday. I did a little couple little tree jobs. Not much, not even really to speak anything about. But I did make a boo-boo Wednesday, and I'm going to tell on myself. What happened was I was at my doctor's house. I do my doctor's lawn, and I did their cleanup, and I cut too much. Like I cut 3 flowers that were blooming still that she just planted 3 weeks ago. And so she was not happy.
Yeah.
So, of course, I apologized, offered to replant them for her, but I did pay for them. So, and they said, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yeah, I want to pay for it. I want to make it right." So that cost me $50. And so, but a lesson learned.
Yeah.
I was wondering why they wanted that stuff cut back, but those are the 3 things that she didn't want cut back.
Yeah.
So
sometimes I have trouble because like people will have grass growing, like it'll be growing up around stuff that they want to keep. And it's hard to make it look nice, you know, because they've kind of neglected that area, the flower bed or whatnot. And, you know, you got to kind of mow around it and I've had that trouble too. I'm like, I'm not sure if I should have mowed that, but I've always kind of been like, well, I got to leave it up to my judgment for the most part when I don't have communication with them. And if I mess up, then, you know, as long as we make it right, I think most people are cool.
It was pretty well blooming. It was something that I probably really should have known, but I was like, well, if I don't do it, they'll say, well, you missed 3.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I did it. And
yeah.
So she kind of chewed on me for a few minutes, and I was like, here you go. Here's your $50 and to replace them. And that's all you could do.
It reminds me of your motto, man, what you say at your videos. You want to say it or do you want me to say it?
You go ahead.
Yeah. Do good and treat people right.
Yep. Be good and treat people right. It's all that matters.
Yeah.
You'll always have a job if you do those things.
I got a couple more questions. I'm going to do Ben's before Mr. Mickey's only because it's related to the last one we did, and then we'll go back to you, Mickey. But Ben says the clients that he sent to you, were they nice to you?
Yes. One of them was the big tree. They wanted a big tree cut down. It was like 70 foot up in the air. And I don't do nothing that big.
Yeah.
The other one, yes, it wasn't very much to do there, and we just knocked that out in a few minutes. So thanks, Ben. I appreciate it.
Excellent. And Mickey, he wants to know about being a sole proprietor or an LLC. It says, I'm a sole, and what to, or thinking of going to LLC, which do you think is better for solo, lawn care, small business? What do you think, Mr. Rob? I know what you are. I think I know how you'd answer this, but
yeah, I'm LLC and I'm solo. I had my son helping me this past year, but other than that, I'm LLC and solo, and I believe the LLC kind of protects you. That's the route I would go because that's what I do. But it's just up to you.
Yeah, I think we'll probably get quite a few comments about this, because this is always a topic. I can't tell you how many videos I've seen about the different ways that you can set up your business, and I'm different in that. Rob froze up. Oh, there you go. You're back. But okay. I'm actually a sole proprietor. But that's the biggest difference, is the liability. Legally, you don't have to be one or the other, but it's about assuming it's about acceptable risk, and I think that's different for a lot of people. But the LLC is probably the better way to go, but it does require some more maintenance, doesn't it, Rob? You have to renew that every single year.
Oh yeah. You have to fill out paperwork for the state, of course, and I think that's $25 a year. It ain't much. But the main thing is having insurance, guys. I mean,
insurance. Yeah.
Insurance it's not expensive. I think I paid $70 a month for mine. It's only like a month, so I only paid $700 a year for the year. So it's not that expensive, especially when I throw a rock or a piece of wood through somebody's window. I just called the insurance company. They fixed it, and that was it. So it didn't come out of my pocket. So
and that little stuff is actually really good. For that smaller type of stuff, it seems like a big thing, but in comparison to maybe bodily injury, if you were to actually fling a rock and it hits them in the eye, and all of a sudden you're looking at it like an eye transplant for somebody or something, and if you're a sole proprietor like myself, they can still come after us or come after me. Which could, puts a lot of things in jeopardy, like my house, any assets that I have, where if you're a limited liability company, it separates your identity to where they can't go after you, but they can go after the business. Right. So your business will take a hit, but at least, personally, you're still protected. Ben's on here. I'm quite certain he would give very similar advice on that, but I've still chosen to stay the sole proprietor. But once I get an employee, I think I'll be changing that if it ever comes to that. Let's see here. Let's see here. What else we got here? Mickey does say he's a sole proprietor right now. I'm a sole proprietor right now. Can I change over to LLC? Yeah, Mickey, you can change over to LLC anytime that you want, the way I understand it. Now, I'm sure we live in Oklahoma. I'm not sure what the different laws are in different states, but I would assume that would be fairly easy to change over to, as long as you file the paperwork. But I do know with LLCs, I don't know if you ran into this, Rob, if they had to make you decide this when you filed your LLC, but there's different kinds of LLCs as well, which might change your tax requirements, like filing quarterly versus filing annually, because there's different kinds of LLCs that you can set your business up as, and it might have that kind of impact on taxes. So that's something to pay attention to, I think.
Yeah, I do my taxes once a year. I mean, a lot of them.
Yeah. Now, are you required to pay yourself a salary separate from the business revenue?
I don't. Just because my tax lady don't require it, whatever, but I don't. But that's me. I mean, I don't want to tell somebody
Yeah.
no and yay or nay because I don't want to tell them wrong. I want, just check with your tax person. That's what I
Yeah.
would do.
And that's probably the best advice I would have. And I actually asked my tax guy at the time, because I was considering changing over to an LLC. And I asked him if there's any tax advantage to being an LLC. And he told me no. So I ended up opting not to. But that's separate. The tax advantage versus the liability viewpoint is two different things.
I think
Mhm.
the LLC, like if you put it at the end of something, it sounds better. I mean,
It sure does.
just me.
Actually, you know
That's
what?
me.
That's probably true. Because if you got that, if you're going from a marketing standpoint, I think people like that. I think
Right.
people like seeing an LLC. Like I'm a sole proprietor, and I don't even think I would think about putting my name up there and then put sole proprietor under it. They wouldn't even know what that is, really.
Right.
But when you see LLC, I think from a psychology perspective, marketing perspective, the perception for the potential client, I think is probably better. Yeah. Got David live. What's going on, David? Welcome back. It's good. We had David last week. So if you guys missed that live, of course, because it's my channel, I would recommend you go back and watching that video. David's always fun to be with. What's that?
David was on a live. I think he had his own live stream.
Yeah.
I checked on it a minute ago before I got
Facebook?
on. Yeah, I think he
YouTube?
was YouTube. I think he had Mark on there, and so
I was having family dinner.
See,
yeah,
you pull your family dinners back earlier, huh?
I know. Well, I have thought about changing the live show to a different time so that it doesn't conflict with family dinner. But yeah, got a few new people here. We got Sheepdog Lawn Care. Man, it's going great. Hope things are going good with you too. Landscapes of America. Good evening. Let's see here. Who else we got in here? Will the Thrill is back. How you doing?
Hey,
Will. There we go. Landscapes of America. This is what he says. As an LLC, you'll need to write yourself a paycheck. If you don't, you're piercing the corporate veil by using your business checking account as an ATM. Then you have no legal protection. So that might be some excellent advice there.
That's good to know. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. And I've heard that before, not mixing your personal money with your business money. But as a sole proprietor, that's my money is mixed. So it's everything I get out of my business is personal money because I file under my social security number, not under a tax ID number. So I still pay the taxes. It's just, it's almost like I'm like 1099 myself,
right.
In a way. So, all right. Looks like the questions are kind of slowed down for you, Rob. So, guys, I asked Rob to kind of share with me and share with you guys a little bit about how he got started in the lawn care. And Rob's got a great story, man, for you guys. I'm sure a lot of you guys might be able to identify with this because we've all worked jobs that we didn't really enjoy. And we were looking for other alternatives. And that's a little bit about Rob's story. But I'm gonna let him tell it. So, Mr. Rob, man, you got the floor. Feel free to take all the time you want. I just love hearing your story.
Okay. Let's see. I got married in 2001. And so we've been married 19 years last Sunday. So it's our anniversary. So my wife has lupus and she had to go on disability and quit her job. And so I was working for the school system at the time. I worked for the Moore school districts here in Oklahoma for 16 or 17 years. And then so she couldn't work. And I started doing what used to be Rob's Odd Jobs. And I was doing painting yard cleanups, just everything and anything to make extra money to help us with the bills that since she quit her job. So anyways, then I started mowing, and so I did that until part-time, worked for the school system. Basically, I got tons of tools. I mean, I'd ask for, this is how I did it. I mean, I got a shop full of tools. I just went up there and would ask for Christmas. I'd ask for my birthday, tools. And then when I was working a full-time job, making the money plus I'd save back on my side job money for tools, and then plus help pay all the bills. It was a struggle. So did that, and of course your job, and Matt, you can relate with this. I know you can, because me and you've talked. You get frustrated at that job, and you like, I'm so sick of this. I'm quitting. I'm mad, and I'm leaving, and every time I wanted to quit, and it just, I couldn't. I didn't feel the release to go. And so I believe in God, and I believe in prayer. So finally I started praying. I said, God, if you want us to go full time in this business, because I'm already working 12 an hour to 15-hour job, and really that's not enough. And I was killing myself working part-time. So I was putting in 70 to 80 hours a week, just wore out. And so then I started getting older, and I started really feeling it, just tired. And so I told my wife one day, I said, it's either the full-time job or our business. I said, it's got to be one or the other. I don't care. I'm tired. And so, of course I was praying about this, and God made a way, and I went full time in the lawn care in 2017. Plus I was doing painting also, and all the other side jobs, because it's called Rob's Odd Jobs. And then 2020 we changed our name this year to Waymaker Lawn Care. But God's got us all of our work. I mean, it's rough. I mean, you work all summer long, and you have equipment, you have the upkeep, the fuel, everything it costs a lot to run in lawn care. And then plus all your bills. And so it's kind of, sometimes it's hard to save. And then I had some unexpected stuff pop up, but God's taken care of us all through this winter. Lawn season basically stopped in full time in October. I mean, it really slowed down. So, October's been done. God's taking care of us. God's taking care of us through November. And I believe he'll get through us in December and the rest of the year. I mean, so this business we named it Waymaker because God makes the way. And that's how I believe. And that's why I named it that. There is a song, it's called Waymaker. And we kind of named it after that, just because how God has made the way. So from all these years that, all my life, God's taken care of me. But from when my wife had to go on disability, we've never had anything shut off or anything. We had the electric shut off one time, and it was an accident. So, but God's always provided for us. And so that's how I started. was when my wife went on disability. We had to make up that kind of money, and I believe, Matt, you done that too, wanting to do certain things, and that's why you started lawn care. I mean, I'm not trying to turn it back on you, but
Yeah.
but yeah, that's my story of how I've got into lawn care. And I used to hate lawns, guys. I hated mowing. I hated it. I mean, with the passion.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now I like it. And it's not so much the work, so much it's everybody. It's all of y'all. You know, y'all get on here and talk, and if we have questions, I mean, it's like a big family, and I think it's cool. So it does help, you know, when you're out there mowing, and you know you have a family of lawn care guys out there, or women. You know, there's a lot of women out there that does this stuff too. So it's just lawn care. I like the lawn. I enjoy it now. And it's a lot better when you have better equipment for when I started out. Like weed eaters, oh my goodness. I mean, I'm not dogging anything low grade or anything, but I have had some bad experience with the cheaper weed eaters and stuff. But now it's a lot better now. I got a little upgraded from certain stuff, certain brands. So, but that's my story. That's how I got started.
Yeah.
So
Rob, it's I gotta tell these folks because it's, you know, we talked about how it's like we'll mow for an hour and a half and we'll talk for 2 hours. Oops.
Yeah.
Just spilt my Coke Zero. Looks like I got to get my shirt out and mop it up. Oh Lord, sorry guys.
Better not let your wife know you did that.
Oh
Might get
man,
in trouble.
I know, right? Yep. On my batteries too. So my desk is just a unfinished cedar wood, so it's probably soaking right in. It's gonna smell like Coke now, but that's all right. I won't mind. There we go. I think we got it fixed up. But yeah, man, we have talks, and you guys, it's so funny because we, you know, we've had so many talks where we'll be like, hey man, how's your week been? You'll be like, oh man, I had a busted tire, my truck broke down, or my mower broke down, or this or that. And I just love it every time you say this. You're like, that's all right though, because it's God's truck. You know, this is God's business. You know, so He's going to take care of it. You know, and you know that's got to bring a lot of peace to you. You know, where you know the things that are normally pretty stressful about business, and it's like, okay, you know, I mean, a mower goes down, that's a pretty big deal for a lot of us. That's, you know, either a third or half of our business, you know, right there down. But you've always got the attitude that says, "No, well, this is God's business. He can do what He wants with it. So if He wants the mower fixed, or if He wants the truck fixed, He's going to fix it, and He's going to figure out a way." And it's so funny because
it's like I said, you know, right now we should be painting. I should be paint season right now, and it's I enjoy painting too. I love to paint all season. But the thing is like what you just said, it's God's business. He'll do what He wants. You know, if God wants me to paint a house, He's going to provide that house to paint. If He wants me to paint all season long, that's what He's going to have me do. If He wants me to do tree cleanups like we've been doing ever since the ice storm, then that's what He wants me to do. That's what I'll do. So yeah, I get tired of it, but you know, I thank God for the work. So
yeah, good deal. Rob, we got a couple questions coming in. Mickey's got another one. He wants to know open or enclosed trailer. What do you think? What do you like best? Or
I like open. I have a friend of mine enclosed trailer out here. It's just sit out here for probably 3 or 4 years. He said I could store stuff in it, and he needs a place to store it. And when I was pulling it home to keep it stored out here, it just seemed so bulky and so high. I mean, it's a higher one that you could just walk underneath and walk in and not have to bend down. It just seemed like it was wider. And you just can't haul brush, and the trees that we're hauling off and stuff, you can't have an enclosed trailer. So I like the open.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the open as well. I've thought about an enclosed, and but I think if I had to have an enclosed, I'd also have to have an open. But one of the things that I think about with an enclosed trailer is your ability to see behind the trailer. Because with an enclosed, you might have stuff that obstructs your vision, but generally speaking, you can see more of what's going on around you. And your mirrors are usually pretty sufficient for side view, where I've got a more narrow truck. So if I had an enclosed trailer, being able to see on the sides and what of my trailer and what's going on behind my trailer would be very, very difficult. So I like it that I can see things. And I think you bring up a great point that an enclosed trailer is kind of limited on what it's capable of doing, where with an open trailer, all you got to do is download your equipment. All of a sudden, it's just a straight up utility trailer that you can use for anything. So I'm in agreement with you on that. I like the open. Let's see. We had another one here. Oh, it's William. William wants to know what you hate the most about lawn care.
The heat.
the heat. Yeah.
The heat. Yeah.
William might even tend to agree with you on that, because he's always got a towel, that he's wiping off with and everything. So he must. William's got to be a sweater. So the heat's definitely a downfall.
That's what we need to carry more. I've seen guys carry towels and wet towels, and that's a really good idea. I probably need to do that next year.
Yeah, I like them. I like them cooling towels. You can get them at Lowe's or whatnot, and usually, although I didn't do it this year, but I have a cooler of ice water, and I just throw a whole bunch of those towels, like 5 or 6 of them in there, and just let them set in there. And I take them out and put them around my neck, and it just kind of drenches me with that cold water, which feels good. And then I just kind of swap them out in between lawns and just throw the old one back in the cooler. This might be a little bit gross, but I mean, we're lawn guys, we're gross, right?
Anything to stay cool, who cares if it's gross?
Anything to stay cool, that's right. Well, I've had a few bouts of heat exhaustion, you know that.
Oh yeah, I have too. They don't feel very good.
Yeah.
Pickle juice is our friend.
We got Jay and Christine in. Yep. Just a couple of hellos. We got Jay and Christine. Yep. And we got Jose from One Way. It's so good to see him. So glad to have you guys.
Yeah, that's awesome. How's everybody doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Got Wildcard MMA. Man, I think this is probably your first time coming, and I always ask that people kind of just give me their name and where they're from. So if you don't mind, I'd love to know that.
I think he is from Oklahoma City, Matt.
Oh, is he?
I think so, because he commented on one of my videos earlier from the last videos, and I told him what time to come on the live.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. So, Wildcard, is that true? You're from Oklahoma City? Yeah. And it looks like we're getting a bit of a consensus, at least from my viewers, on the open trailer. A lot of guys like that. Yeah, but he said Guth says that he would use an open trailer more than he would an enclosed.
Well, if they're worried about people stealing stuff, if you got a big mower, I mean, nobody's just going to steal your big mower. I mean, they're not going to pick it up over the sides and carry it off. And you can still lock up your open trailers. You could lock the gate. So,
yeah, you can lock the gate. And I've heard that too with the enclosed trailers, that it's not as secure as people think it might be. And I remember seeing a video from Keith Kalfas, and I'm still nothing against, but I'm still kind of skeptical about some stuff. Like, is that really true? Like, did that really happen? But he was kind of known for how he secured his trailer. Like, I mean, his was basically the Fort Knox of trailers, yet he still got broken into and got everything stolen.
Right.
This was a couple years ago, probably. Put a video about that, and I was wondering, I was like, could it be that somebody watched his video and knew exactly how to break into his trailer because he showed everybody how he locked his trailer?
Yeah,
but
that probably wasn't very smart on his part.
Yeah. So, Rob, you're correct. Wild card. His name is Jared, and he is from OKC. So that would be awesome to get all the OKC guys
Oh yeah, that'd
together.
be great. His
and meet
name's
face
Jared.
to face. So, Jared. Yep.
Yeah,
So it's
Jared.
good to
If you
meet
see
you,
us
Mr. Jared.
around, stop and say hi.
Yeah. Jared, where are you? What part of the city are you from? Are you from the north, south, east, west, or where at? Because we may have seen each other and didn't know it. Yeah. So, Mr. Rob, you run your business. In actuality, God is the CEO of your business. So, what's he gonna be having you doing next year? Now, you've talked a little bit about it before, but we've got some folks that may not have heard what you're going to do. But what's your plans for next year? Because you're going to be making some changes, I know.
Yes, I've made a lot of changes.
Mm-hmm.
I quit the commercial property. I had, let's see, I think it was 17 of them, 18 of them, and I quit them all just because the money wasn't there. I had to do the hedges, mulch, mowing it, doing the leaf cleanups. I mean, it was everything really from A to Z except for spraying and the sprinklers. And just the money's not there. It's good experience. But I'm thinking about either, I really don't know what God's got going for me and come March and April. But it'll probably be, I'm wanting like church properties. I want some acreages, or that, or just residentials. So Acme Mowing, he's got the right clients. He's got the nice big properties. I'd love to have stuff in the Oklahoma City area.
Yeah.
So I kind of envy being at Acme. He's got some good properties, and I know Matt agrees because we've done a lot of his properties.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it.
Yes, we did. It was fun. It was fun. He'd go back on vacation.
Yeah. I know, right? Yeah, we'll just take everything over, Mr. Ben.
We'll just take his. I like his mower. He's got a good mower. A couple of good mowers. So.
Yeah. I found a comment here, but I can't. I'm having trouble finding it because we're getting a lot of activity on here. But I think it was where was it? Oh, I missed it. Yes. Mickey wants to know about Jungle Gym's equipment, and I don't think Rob has any Jungle Gym equipment, but I do. I use some Jungle Gym equipment. I've got a blower rack, a backpack blower rack, and I've got a handheld blower rack, and I've got a mid-sized walk-behind mower in my sulky, my little trailer that I stand on is Jungle Gym's as well. And I don't have any complaints about Jungle Gym. I think they're good. I think the most secure product out there is probably the Green stuff and Equipment Defender, because Jungle Gyms are just throwing a standard lock on it, so it's as secure as your lock is. But as far as quality, I mean, I don't have any complaints about them. Seems to fit the equipment nice, and they're pretty reasonably priced. So, Mickey, I don't know if that answered the question. You're getting some stuff in here. I think Guth has some Jungle Gym stuff on there, but I haven't heard anything bad about them. A lot of guys like them, and they can be a great option. So, and let's see here. Wild card. He said he's actually from the Asian district in Oklahoma City, Northwest. I believe it's over there near like Classen and stuff. So I don't
Oh,
know
wow.
anybody. So Jared is the first guy that I know in that area. So that's good to
So
know.
he's in the by the capital area. Would that be
I think it's going to be a little bit west of that. The Northwest. I mean, it's Classen is near downtown, but it's west
kind of
of the
like
capital.
23rd? And
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty close. That's actually an interesting area to be in.
It is an
because
interesting area.
yeah, it can be a little bit congested. I'm not sure if I could handle the stress of parking my trailer around there.
Yeah, mine's a little big.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of theft, because Jose was talking about he didn't like enclosed trailer because he couldn't see if anybody was in the trailer, so they could be in there and he wouldn't know it. And then all he got to do is turn his back, and then they just take off with this stuff. And kind of that close to downtown, that's kind of how I feel. I think all the time. I'd always be watching my back. Not that it's ghetto, it's just so close to downtown.
Who's Jared? Who is your dealer? Where do you buy your equipment from?
Yeah. He says he also works in Yukon Moore, so he's all over the city.
Oh yeah,
Must have
he
a pretty good sized company.
If he works in Moore, I've seen him around, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, man, Rob, time really is flying by. We got 15 minutes left on this show. Can you believe it?
It's crazy. It always does fly by.
Yeah. And Mickey says it's time to go sleepy time. So thanks for dropping by, Mickey. It was great having you. Thanks for the comments, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank
we
you,
love
Mickey.
chatting with you too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, the college. He said over there by Oklahoma City College.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he says, yeah, the yards here are not the best. Yeah.
I got myself in a
Yeah.
I got myself in a
Sometimes
pickle. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah. Oh, it's okay. Go ahead, Rob.
I got myself in a pickle over by the lawn you spray at and I mow. Two trucks were on the other side of the truck, on the street. One of them was a dually, one of them was a regular truck, and I had to fit my rig through there, and my blower was sticking out further, kind of like right along with the fender, but it's going to hit the guy's mirror. I had to jump out, take the blower off, and put it in the back of the truck and squeeze by there. And I think I didn't even hurt. I barely even made it. So it's kind of nice. I was kind of wanting to downsize my trailer for the residential part. That way, it's easier to get around on those streets.
Yeah. Jared says he's running a 7x12. How big a trailer are you running right now, Rob?
It's 83 inches wide. It's 14. It's a 14.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you fit quite a bit of equipment on that thing. You pretty much carry everything with you, I think, is what you're saying. And you kind of like to get away from that and just have more specific use trailers.
Yeah, I'm wanting to downsize. Actually, I mean, I don't want to get rid of my stuff. I just want to be able to. It'll be cheaper on gas, and with the commercial properties, I had to have the hedge trimmers, both of them. Just I had to carry everything. Had to carry, 2 weed eaters. If I had one go down, or if my son was going to use one, we'd both be on a weed eater. So I really kind of want to just kind of downsize and keep some of that stuff at home. But we're going to see. We'll see what happens. I'll know more probably in probably March or so. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Kind of waiting on what God has to do. what he's going to do for us. So
Yeah.
right now I just have 10 properties.
Well, that's gonna grow pretty quickly, especially if you do any kind of marketing, because man, it's just, I mean, you know how it is. People just kind of walk up to you all the time, and just referrals and just working in neighborhoods kind of earns you some business. So you
Yeah.
have to put a little bit of marketing on top of that, and man, you'll be up to 70, 80 lawns before you know it.
And that's the plan. That's my goal, is to, if you, guys, I noticed a big difference when I took my signs off my truck. The phone kind of stopped ringing. When you have signs, and you're in a residential area, people are stopping by, and I mean, you'll be in the backyard and they'll come find you in the backyard wanting a business card. Sometimes that gets annoying because, it's like, hey, it's hot out here. I want to get this one done. Can we talk later?
Right.
But you gotta hand them a card, or that's money.
Yeah.
So
That's right. He was asking, he says, what would you do for your first year in business? And I'm not sure if that's to kind of both of us, because neither of us in our first year of business, but maybe like if we were to kind of looking back, hindsight being 2020, how would we change things up? Now, your situation now is almost kind of like that, because you're making such a big shift in your clientele. But you got any advice for Mr. Drew, Rob?
First year in lawn care. Don't go in debt. That's the big thing. I wouldn't go in debt and then just get what you can afford and use what you already have. That's what most of these guys are saying, and I agree with them. Make sure you have insurance. Get insurance. I mean, it's worth it. Just don't go in debt. I mean, you don't have you don't have to have all the fine equipment. Like I mentioned earlier with the home light weed eater, I used it, but I mean, I had to have, it was cheap, but it made me money. So if you had to start out with that, start out with that.
Yeah.
But use what you already have around the house. You don't have to have the big, fine, fancy zero turns. I mean, they're nice to have, but I started out with residentials, and they cut just as good as the big commercials. So, I did 5 acres with the homeowners plus my 5 acres, and so it lasted me a couple years.
Yeah.
I don't know if that
I think
helps.
I'd like to second that, because I think, I don't know if any business schools would actually tell you that, stay away from debt, because there's that term out there that says, well, that's good debt. And it's just something about that with me that doesn't set right. And I'm not a business necessarily minded kind of guy, but there's just running in the hole doesn't make a lot of sense to me, especially in the first year. And I've heard Ben say this before, that in the first year, you're not even sure if you're going to like it,
Right.
So to go, dumping, say, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 on a setup, not even knowing if you're going to like it, and might want to get out of that year. I mean, you're going to take a loss on that. You might be able to liquidate and get some of that back, but you're still going to be carrying some of that debt. And I kind of did the same thing when I started my business. I didn't have the money to go out and buy that stuff. So I did just use what I had, and it didn't last very long. I had cheap stuff. I wasn't quite with the home light. I can't lie, but I had like Polon. I had a Polon curve shaft trimmer, and I had a little Troy-Bilt, 7-year-old Troy-Bilt 21-inch push mower with the wheels that were all like this, and but it still cut pretty good, but it didn't take long. But if you guys know Geek to Freak, which, by the way, I keep on wanting to do this, but Geek to Freak, if you guys know who he is, he's back on YouTube. but you just have to go check him out. I think it's on Greg Chisholm's Don't Be Scared, I think is the name of his channel now. He used to say that, don't be scared. And but go check him out. Just a little plug for him. He's the guy that actually influenced me a lot in my first year. And what he used to say, and he's not the greatest businessman. I mean, he's always been a solo guy. He's just been doing it for 20 years, and he's done well for what he's done. But what he used to say was just cut the lawns that you can do. Like, you can grow into other kinds of lawns, but if you're only equipped to do this type of lawn, then cut that kind of lawn, until you can kind of build up some money, get a little cash flow going, and then maybe you can invest a little later into some equipment. But I agree with you. Don't go into debt. I think that'll kind of kill your business right off the bat, especially if you don't, or if you're not sure if you're actually gonna want to continue doing it. So yeah, and that's kind of what I did. Each year I just spent a little bit more money. I got another piece of equipment every single year, and I'm just now getting to the point where I've started replacing things. Now it was a couple of years ago I started replacing my handheld equipment, but yeah, I think that's probably one of the best advice that I've ever had is don't think you have to go into debt to get a business going. This is one of the easiest businesses to get into, and it doesn't cost that much money.
No.
Yeah. Man, I can't believe we've only got 3 minutes left. So I'm gonna try and get through some of this. But guys, we're gonna be wrapping it up here in just a couple of minutes. So if you guys are getting ready to get,
do you see that comment? I think Ben has my attention. Barbecue boys, barbecue soon.
Yeah, he wants to do a barbecue, and I think we should. We got to get them local homies together. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Every time someone talks food, I'm
now
in.
The sun's going down early. Yeah, the sun's going down earlier, so now, I mean, I can be out anywhere after 5 o'clock probably now. So we're in good shape. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna scoot on down here. Jay has some great stuff. He's got a F350 flatbed, or he wants an F350 flatbed with a ramp with racks on it. I think that's going to be one of the setups of the future. These kind of all-in-one setups. I think the trailers are going to go away. Jose says best trailer for me was a 12x6, and he's had three trailers, and he went down to a 5x10 because the area he wants a more compact setup, which I think is smart, and that's what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. William says he's still paying off equipment. I'll put that one up there. He's still paying off equipment, but it's almost paid for. So, I've always thought I wanted to keep if I worked for that dollar, I want to keep as much of it as possible. So, but if you take the jobs that need the equipment, then that's good.
I have one payment on a mower, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wish I didn't have that.
And yeah. But William says the main thing is basically keep that driving. You keep that attitude and stick with it. Hey, Mr. Juan Romero's here. Thank you. Thank you. He says I gave good advice, and I got to say, Juan, all I did was echo Rob. So, and mid-December for our barbecue. Boy, I'm really packing it in here. I know, man. Jay says good night.
Good night, Jason.
Jared says he's still focusing on residential. He says to know your limitations, and that's right. If you don't have the equipment to do it, then you're not. It's going to be a lawn you don't really want to go to. If you're trying to do an acre with a 21, that's not going to be no fun. So
good luck.
Okay. I think we're just about. I know I didn't get everybody's mentioned, but I think I did get most all the questions. I apologize if I missed any. But
also, if they have questions, Matt, they can go on our YouTube channels or Instagram us, and my number is out there to see. So if you need anything, call us. I mean, that's one thing good about the lawn care community. You need something, questions answered, they'll be out there to help you.
Yeah. Good night, Mr. Ben. As it's always great to have you, man. Maybe we'll have to get you on here one maybe next week or something. So, but Rob, actually before that, good reminder. Hey, if you guys have not visited Rob's channel, please go out there, give him a like, give him a subscribe, visit his Instagram. Have you got anything else out there, Rob, besides Instagram and YouTube?
I have Facebook, but under Waymaker Lawn Care, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and like that. That'll help him out with his business. Cool. Excellent. Well, Mr. Wong, good night. Mr. Rob, any closing remarks?
No, I appreciate you having me on. I enjoyed it. It's fun.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, man. The time really does go by fast. Good night, Mr. Joffrey. Yeah. So I guess that's about all I got. It was really fun, guys. Thanks, Rob, for coming on. Thanks for sharing your story about coming into lawn care. I think a lot of us can identify with that for sure. I know same thing with me. I had a reason to do it, and it's still my reason. So as long as I got that, then I'm going to keep on going with it.
That's right.
But yeah. So I guess that's going to about do it. So Rob, you promised to pray for me, man.
I always pray for you, Matt.
Okay. Well, you know I'm praying for you, man. I know it sounds cliche because I always say that, but I guess I'm just goofing on you a bit. But seriously, guys, pray for me, pray for Rob. We'll be praying for you guys, and we will see you guys next Sunday, same time, same channel, right?
That's right. Have a good night, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Matt.
My pleasure.